Absolutely not. We expect that Donald Trump will be a major source of conversation during the debate. And according to the Republican National Committee, 8 other candidates have qualified for this debate, including Donald Trump's former vice president, Mike Pence.
Tell us a bit more about the candidates. Who's expected to do well out of this debate, given that Donald Trump, who is said to be leading the polls for the Republican vote, won't be there?
He has a very distant lead. Nobody is even close to him. The distant number 2, according to most of the polls, is the governor of the state of Florida, Ron DeSantis. And his numbers have actually been going down in recent months. So this debate is seen as a make or break moment. He needs to go viral from this debate in a good way, not in a bad way, because a bad performance for Ron DeSantis on Wednesday night here in Milwaukee could really severely damage his already wounded candidacy.
So apart from Donald Trump, what other topics are expected to top the debate?
Well, I think Joe Biden, the current president of the United States and the incumbent that the Republicans really want to defeat, with or without Donald Trump at the top of the ticket. And you'll hear from some of the candidates saying, Republicans, that if we put Donald Trump as our candidate up again to oppose Joe Biden will win. That we're going to hear definitely from Chris Christie, a former governor of New Jersey, who was a former friend of Donald Trump, who is now a foe, and another former governor from the state of Arkansas, Asa Hutchinson, who is a bit more laid back, but he'll also be putting forth the same message. But both of those candidates are running in the low single digits in most of the polls.
Well, Donald Trump says the public knows who he is, what a successful presidency he had, in his words. He says he'll therefore not doing debates, so not only this one but future ones. Is this likely to hurt his campaign?
Probably not. I think after this debate, we'll still see Donald Trump with a very distant lead over all the other candidates that will be appearing on the stage. The big problem, of course, for Donald Trump is he is facing more than 90 felony counts for alleged criminal acts committed before, during, and after his presidency. And that's why some of the candidates are running. They believe this is going to wound him eventually. And even though they may say, we like Donald Trump, we can do better than Donald Trump and get across that right-wing Make America Great Again agenda that Trump popularized without Donald Trump.
But yet he's got so much staunch support because of these indictments that have been happening. Tell us a bit more about what the public is saying.
Well, every time there's been a round of indictments against Donald Trump, he seems to have go up in the polls, at least with Republicans. The key really is you are finding a lot of independents or some Democrats who had voted for Donald Trump in either 2016 or 2020 are saying, look, all this baggage is really too much. And so they're looking at some of these other Republican candidates, especially in the early states of Iowa and New Hampshire. And also Wisconsin is probably 1 or 4 or 5 states. This state where I'm at, I'm in Milwaukee, among those that are really going to decide who wins the general election in November of next year.
Well, Donald Trump has these other important matters to attend to. He's expected to turn himself in for arrest in Georgia on Thursday. Tell us what's expected to happen.
Yes, he will be going to the Fulton County Jail in Atlanta, Georgia. Now, this will happen the day after, or perhaps even the morning after we have the debate here. So it will wipe out a lot of the news coverage, the sort of post-analysis of what's happening with all these other Republican candidates. So the spotlight will be back on Donald Trump very, very quickly. And what we may see out of this one, which is different than the previous several appearances, arrests that Donald Trump has gone under since leaving the presidency, is we may have a mugshot released by the authorities in Fulton County, Georgia.
Well, he denies any wrongdoing, says it's all a politically motivated effort to derail his re-election campaign. How might this affect his chances of returning to the White House?
Well, really, as we've said, this has not dented him very much among the Republican core and his base, although they're willing to consider some other candidates. The real key is how is it going to affect him if he is the Republican nominee? How does it affect him when he runs, presumably again against Joe Biden? He lost the last time. He claims that he didn't lose. There is absolutely no credible evidence of that. And so we'll see when there is presumably a one-on-one matchup, again, a rematch between Donald Trump and Joe Biden, if both of them are nominated by their respective parties next year.
And Steve, this will be the fourth criminal case brought against Donald Trump, as you've mentioned. What is the expected time frame for all of these to play out?
Yeah, it's really becoming a crowded legal docket, Yvonne, for all of these cases that Donald Trump is facing. His lawyers are trying to put them all off until after the November 2024 election. That seems really unlikely. So we're going to have an unprecedented situation in American history where we have a candidate for president, one who's leading his party, who is trying to get out there and campaign while also sitting in courtrooms in different states facing criminal trials. And really, this is going to be very, very challenging, not only for him, his attorneys, but also the judges and prosecutors who are trying to balance all these cases. But almost certainly, Donald Trump will be going back and forth between courthouses and the campaign trail.
Indeed, in the spotlight yet again. Steve Herman, good to talk. Thank you so much.
My pleasure.